Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another day of Doyle is bouncing around and is all over the place and has no clue what's going on usually. So, today I've decided to move the Nova back to my actual house. And that's in lieu of gas prices because I can't afford to be going back and forth to the shop every day when it costs me $8 round trip. Um, it's just not going to happen. So, went out with Dad this morning and loaded the Nova up on a trailer and brought it home. So, I'm going to give you guys a proper introduction and then we will get into what I'm working on today. This is my 1965 Nova. Last time you guys saw it, it was a little more put together than this. I've already started the process of tearing it apart because it was wrecked. Um, yeah, everything else looks pretty standard and solid. I gave it a bath today and everything immediately rusted because it's all bare metal, but that's okay. Uh, got new tires on the front and also cleaned out the entire interior. The drive shaft's in there right now. But one little tiny rust spot, but other than that, the floors are completely solid. Everything else is ready to rock. Yeah, nothing real crazy going on. Um, Today I'm going to set it up for GM one wire alternator, which I ordered, and I'm going to get rid of the horns because it doesn't need horns, and the horns run off this relay, and so does the alternator. And we're going to get rid of the voltage regulator and a bunch of wiring and just clean all this up because I can't stand how this looks. And I went through the factory wiring diagram last night because this has one, and that makes it much easier. So I'm going to get to work cutting up all of this. This probably isn't going to be a real great video, not super enthusiastic, woo, ready to party, but I wanted to get whatever I was doing on film at least so that you guys didn't miss anything. Depending on how long the time lapse is and how long this is, we'll start working on getting this panel out. So I'm gonna set you guys up and we'll get to work. So catch up with you guys when this looks a whole lot fucking better than it does right now.
You wanna know what's beginning of love? You look so hard, but you can't see enough. Just find it and take it, don't let regret it. Make me your only one. You choose it, don't lose it, don't let confuse it. Only then you'll be gone. Feel like, feel like, feel like that. Feel like, feel like, feel like that. Feel like that. Lay your arms around me and stay with me. Feel like that. Lay your arms and stay with me, baby. Feel like that. Lay your
Alright, that wasn't too shabby. It was only like an hour and a half. Let me flip you guys around and walk you through what I did and show you how much better it looks. Alright, since we are converting to GM one wire, it is literally only going to be one wire. So I ran a new charging wire and it is waiting for the battery. Battery box goes on this panel. This panel is getting replaced, so that will wait on that. For the rest of the alternator wiring, it ran over to the horn relay. Okay, and it was in there. The constant power source for the ignition switch was also on here. So I took that constant power source and I cut it all the way back up to there. It's that red wire right there. I'm going to fix this connection at some point because that's not me. I ran it over the firewall and down to the starter. and then we'll have a battery cable running straight to the starter, so it will still be getting its constant power. But this is much cleaner than it trying to pull it from here, and it pulls it from over here, and that's a mess. The horn wire that triggers the horn is also cut up here. I left it about this long, and I left it in the wiring harness, so if I ever decide to put the horns back in it, it's there. Um, the rest of the wires went to the voltage regulator, which also isn't needed. So, all said and done, this is the amount of wiring that you get to get rid of when you go to GM one wire. The rest of this coming through here is all headlights. This is the driver's side headlight. This is the ground for the headlights. This is turn signal for this side, turn signal for this side, headlight for that side. And that's literally all that's left in here. So this side of the engine is done, and this side of the engine is mostly done. I gotta convert this to HEI. The HEI is here. I just haven't went and got it from Evan yet. And then we can, after it's converted to HEI and the coil and the distributor out of here, then we can finish up the rest of the wiring. The positive side, which is this one, is your positive side for the coil on the HEI. This wire is probably going to have to be extended a little bit. And then this side is for your tack, which is not this. This just runs down to the distributor. So if you have a tack, it would go there. This does have a tack in it, but it is trash. It's getting pulled out, so I just pulled out all the wiring for it. The voltmeter that is in this is aftermarket. It's just going to get a single wire ran over to here, same as this, probably, unless I find a place inside the car to tap from, which would be awesome. Not to add any more wires. Doesn't have an electric choke. Still got to do the wiring for the electric fan that it's going to get. But other than that, the engine bay is taken care of and done. So definitely a whole lot better than that mess. And now I understand it and it's capable of starting. So that'll be good. With this wire getting constant power, the ignition switch is getting power. So as long as the rest of the wiring works and the starter works, you hook a battery up to it and you ground it, and this should roll over. We're not going to do that in this episode, but at some point we are going to get to do that. So I think next on the list is to set you guys down and we'll get it setting up on some blocks, probably. Yeah, or some tires. Haven't really made a decision yet, but we're going to get it set up on something and pull the front wheels off. At least this one, so that we can get to some spot welds. It's bolted in this panel. It's all crunched in. Still not going to be able to see it very well. There's bolts here, but it's spot welded the rest of the way through. This corner right here is probably going to be a little bit of a bear, but we'll figure it out. And then it's spot welded across the bottom. This metal is actually pretty decent, even though it looks like it's falling apart. We may patch that, but we'll figure it out. I gotta have this wheel off to get the drill in here to get these spot welds off. So let me set you guys back up and we'll get this thing at least sitting on something. Bit better view of what we got going on. So we have some spot welds down along here, and there's a spot weld there, and they go up along here, and I think that this unbolts and come out of the way, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a couple more in here. I think this can be unbolted and taken off the car without affecting the suspension or having that spring come undone. Because from the way it looks just like a bump stop extension, and it's not part of the bucket or anything that's holding the spring or anything. So I think that's going to come off, and we're going to have to deal with all of these along here. And we're also going to have to deal with all of these along here. And those on the top side are right here. So this is all spot welds that we're going to have to deal with. This bolt and this bolt are the top of that bucket. So those bolts will have to come out. And then this does this weird crossover thing. So we're not touching this panel or this panel. We're going to undo this bucket, and this panel is going to come out. So this will be the next episode, I think, is getting this panel out. So that's what we will be working on. But I think we've made pretty good progress for just a couple hours of tinkering with it. So definitely looks a hell of a lot better. I know you guys have seen a bunch of builds that take forever to do, or they never get done, or something happens and there's a whole bunch of shit and blah blah blah, or you're waiting for parts, waiting for shit to be shipped. That is not going to happen with this one. I made a $1,800 eBay purchase and a $260 some odd $300 Rock Auto purchase. And I had a couple other $100 that I ordered other places, so I got like $2,500 in parts on the way for just that shit box. And they should be here by April 4th. We're going to shave all the holes out of it. I'll turn it around real quick. I'm going to shave all these holes out of it and fix this fender. This fender's staying. I bought a new fender for that side. I bought a core support. I bought the apron, everything to fix the front end of it. This fender we will fill some holes in. I tried to back sand it to get it to come smooth with the paint job that was on it, and it keeps coming apart, and it's not gonna happen. So once you strip it down to bare metal and you paint it a solid color, it looks much better. So this is also the color that we're going to go with, is this old school OD green. At least it's old school for me. It's been on a couple of my vehicles, but not for a really long time. So I'm kind of excited to see that color come back. Other than that, we're just waiting for parts to come in, getting ready for whatever I need to have ready for whenever they fucking come in. So I will catch you guys soon. We also got to get Evan's truck done. That whole debacle is coming soon. The race truck that is inside, this one, is getting closer too. I got a video coming for it at some point, so that'll be good. Evan will be racing at some point, so we'll get more Corolla videos. You guys said that you want more Camry videos, so we're gonna have to figure out some more content for that. Other than that, I'm just gonna keep trucking. It's finally starting to get warm. It's supposed to be like 80 degrees tomorrow for the first time this year, so that'll be sick. Alright, get out there and wrench on something. Love you guys. We'll talk soon, and yeah, be safe out there.